The Omaki was supposed to be a new beginning, a marvel of human engineering, built to explore uncharted worlds and push the boundaries of space travel. I, Conny Boxsty, along with Barry Cleavertrap and Aaron Blocker, had been part of the crew. Scientists and engineers tasked with studying distant planets. We were prepared for everything until the laser hit us. A flash of light, a sharp tremor, and a deafening crack of metal as our ship was torn apart by a laser fired from somewhere far beyond the stars. I remember the chaos as we plummeted toward the surface of this alien world. The Omaki crashed into the ocean with an explosive force. Somehow, against all odds, the three of us survived, stranded on a planet we knew nothing about. Our days here have been nothing but survival. Barry's been tinkering with salvage parts to build weapons. Aaron's focused on making sure we can get fresh water. I've been helping with the prawn suit. Our best chance is to gather resources and defend ourselves. It's been exhausting, but we've made it this far. But I wasn't prepared for what came next. Day 23. I suited up in the prawn suit, my lifeline out here. It's heavy, bulky, but it saved me more than once. The thick, reinforced exoskeleton gives me the strength to move through these waters, and its drills have proven useful when we've needed to gather minerals or defend ourselves from the bigger predators. Today, I had a simple mission: retrieve some rare metal from a wreck site not far from camp. I set out into the cold, dark water, the faint glow of bioluminescent creatures lighting my way. It always feels eerie, even after weeks here, as if the ocean itself is alive, watching, waiting. The silence underwater is suffocating, broken only by the rhythmic hum of my prawn suit's machinery. My mind wandered as I descended, trying to ignore the creeping unease that came of being so far from the safety of our shelter. And then it happened. I wasn't alone. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest as a shadow passed overhead. The water vibrated with an unnatural hum, and I knew exactly what it was: a Reaper Leviathan. I had read about them, massive, intelligent, and terrifying. Their long bodies could tear through ships like paper, and their shrieking roar sent chills down your spine. I spotted it before it spotted me, but the Reaper's glowing eyes turned toward me, locking onto my prawn suit like a hunter fixating on its prey. Panic surged through me. I fumbled with the controls, trying to retreat, but it was already too late. The Leviathan moved faster than I could react. With a horrifying screech, its claws lashed out, grabbing a hold of my prawn suit's legs. I tried to fight back, slamming seismic charges into its body, but it barely flinched. It was too powerful. Before I could even think, the Leviathan dragged my suit deeper, pulling me into the dark, crushing depths. I could barely keep my bearings as it flung me into the abyss of the ecological dead zone, a place no one ever returns from. The weight of the ocean pressed in on all sides. I was alone, completely alone. The dark, oppressive silence was almost unbearable. The pressure of the ocean around me threatened to crush my prawn suit, and the only light I had was the faint glow of my suit's floodlights. But it wasn't enough. The dead zone was a vast, empty graveyard, devoid of life. There was no sound, no movement, only endless blackness. I checked my oxygen levels. They were dropping fast. And food? I didn't have enough to last long down here. I had no idea where I was or how I could possibly get back to the surface. The communication link was damaged, cut off by the Leviathan. I couldn't even call for help. But there had to be a way out. I couldn't die here. I couldn't leave Barry and Aaron without a fight. I moved forward, aimlessly at first, hoping for some kind of sign, some way to navigate through this wasteland. My suit's systems warned me of low power. My oxygen was almost gone. My stomach growled in protest, but I couldn't afford to stop. And then, as if by some miracle, I spotted it. Something in the distance, a faint glow through the blackness. My heart skipped a beat. I didn't know what it was, but I had no choice but to investigate. Every movement felt heavier, as though the ocean was pressing down on me with each passing second. But I pushed forward, driven by the need to survive. I reached it after what felt like an eternity. It was an ancient structure, half buried in the ocean floor, glowing faintly with a light that seemed to pulse in a rhythm with the beat of my heart. The markings on the stone were unlike anything I'd even seen before, alien perhaps, or something even older. The structure seemed untouched by time, its surface smooth and cold, but exuded an eerie energy that sent shivers down my spine. I wasn't sure of what I was looking at. It didn't look like any kind of habitat, more like a monument or a facility of some sort. The air was still, and yet there was a strange hum coming from deep within the structure. I approached the entrance, a massive stone doorway that seemed to shimmer in the dim light. It was sealed tight, but I wasn't going to give up now. My suit was almost running out of power. My oxygen was almost gone, but I had to make it through. I tried everything. First, I pried at the door of my prawn suit's drills. Then I connected my remaining power cells to attempt a bypass, hoping and against hope that I would get it open. And just as I was about to give up, the door moved. Slowly, but enough to give me hope. The chamber inside was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Strange glowing crystals lined the walls, casting an eerie light that seemed to pulse in time with my breathing. At the center of the room was a massive cylindrical device. It hummed softly, its energy unmistakable. It was like nothing from this planet or any planet I knew. I didn't have time to study it carefully. My mind was racing. I had to figure out how it worked, how it could get me out of here. I couldn't stay much longer. My oxygen was almost gone. I fumbled with the controls, trying to activate the device. I didn't know what I was doing, but desperation fueled my every movement. And then something clicked. The device activated, its lights flaring to life, and a low rumble echoed through the chamber. It was working. The structure was reacting to my presence. The doors began to close behind me. I felt a strange force lifting me up, pulling me toward the surface. The pressure around me started to release. The water grew lighter as the device propelled me upwards, faster than I thought possible. My prawn suit systems hummed, but I barely had the strength to appreciate the relief. I had no idea what that ancient device was, but it was my only hope. When I broke through the surface, gasping for air, I felt the first real relief in days. The familiar sight of the planet's sky greeted me, and in the distance, I saw Barry and Aaron. They were waiting for me. "Conny!" Barry's voice crackled through the comms. "You made it!" "I made it," I whispered, my voice hoarse. "And we're going home." I had made it. Against all odds, I had survived at that zone, and now I could finally go back to my friends. But I knew this was just the beginning. There were so many questions about this planet, about what we were really up against. But for now, I could finally breathe. We were going to survive this together.